Find out how your friends are. Friends become the most important people in our life together with our family members. They say that having a friend is having a treasure, and the truth is that there are things that you would only tell a good friend, even before your parents. Faithful and loyal friends are preserved for a lifetime, and they are always there to help you through bad times. Questions to get to know your friends better. If you want to know more about your friends, and that they share with you their concerns, their thoughts, and their expectations, below you can find a list with several questions that will help you find out more about their life, their hobbies, their tastes, and its most unacceptable secrets. 1. Do you have a secret that you haven't told me? We all have a secret that we will not share with almost anyone. If he tells you, you have a lot of confidence. 2. Tell me 3 bands that have marked you. Music is something that inspires us and motivates us. When it comes to musical tastes, each of us has our own tastes. In addition, musical tastes say a lot about people, and so you can get an idea of what it is like. 3. What are you afraid of? Confessing your fears to someone is also a sign of confidence. If you open her heart to you, you can already be sure that you are important to him or her. 4. Where would you go on vacation? This question is interesting if one day you decide to go somewhere with him or her. So you will know more or less if she shares the same tastes as you. 5. What would your dream job be? Work is something very personal, and it is a very important part of a person's life. When you work what you like, you are happy. 6. If you could interview someone, who would it be? A way to know who inspires you in this life, or if you have a character that you would like to be like. 7. Do you have a favorite book? Which? In the books that a person reads, it is also possible to know what worries them. An adventure book, a psychology book. Let's see what your friend answers. 8. What do you value most about our friendship? Very useful information to know what your friend thinks of you. Surely, if you have a close relationship, it is that he will like how you are. 9. What does freedom mean to you? This is one of those existential questions that will give you information about what his values are, and what he thinks of freedom. 10. What historical figure would you like to have dinner with? We have all noticed other people at some time in life. There are characters that have inspired us throughout life. For example, if you like poetry, maybe you would eat with Pablo Neruda, and if you like basketball, with Michael Jordan. 11. If you ruled the world, what would you do to change it? If your friend is a person with critical thinking, has a good heart and is interested in social issues, surely he has some ideas to make the world work better. 12. What superpower would you have if you could choose? A rare question that can help ease tension and make creativity work. 13. Is there any item of clothing that you would never wear? This question also makes the person think and be creative when answering. The answers to this question can be very personal. 14. Do you think often about how you feel? Emotionally intelligent people know their own emotions, and therefore regulate them. But not everyone stops to reconsider their own thoughts or emotions. 15. Tell me 4 series that you like the most. In this way it is possible to know what their concerns and their cultural tastes are. Maybe you like action or maybe humor. 16. What qualities do you value most in someone? This question can be very personal, but it will certainly help you get to know your friend better, and give you feedback on what they like about someone, and what they don't. 17. How do you see the future? Visualizing the future in one way or another provides information on someone's aspirations, motivation, and even self-confidence. 18. Sea or mountain? There are people who prefer the mountains because they like to ski or snow, for example. Instead, there are people who prefer the sun and the beach. 19. How is your bedroom? At certain ages, the bedroom is the most personal place in the house, especially during adolescence. 20. What would you eat for your last dinner? A way to know your food tastes, since if you had to choose your last delicacy, it would surely be what you enjoy the most. 21. Do you identify with any song? Music makes us feel very strong emotions, and it is something very personal, which differs from one person to another. 22. What is the most embarrassing memory of your childhood? We have all had good times and bad times in our childhood. It is up to your friend if he wants to tell you, and if he has accepted it. 23. What is the most unpleasant state of mind for you? With this question, your friend can express some concerns, fears or hobbies that he has, and that will surely embarrass him. 24. What is your favorite movie? Why? Like musical tastes or series, movies can also provide information about what your tastes are. For example, if you like romance or horror movies. 25. How would you describe me? How your friend sees you can be interesting. Don't be surprised if your idea of yourself isn't the same as your friend's. However, if he is your friend, it is for something. 26. Do you have a role model? We have all been marked by someone, or we have someone who we would like to resemble. A way of knowing how you would like to be. 27. When you were little, what did you want to be when you grew up? We all had dreams and illusions during our childhood. Sometimes they are fulfilled, and sometimes they are not. 28. What do you want most in this world? Sometimes we have incomplete dreams or we are halfway to achieving them. It's nice that your friend shares his goals and objectives with you. 29. Do you have a favorite place to live? The answer to this question can provide you with information on whether the person is comfortable living where he lives or wants to change his place of residence. 30. Is there something that you think that others think of you that is not true? Your friend may think that others do not know what he is really like or have a wrong image of him. A question similar to the previous one, although in this case we are talking about a different facet of education. The role model that is followed. 31. If you got a tattoo, what would it be about? Tattoos are all the rage and can mean something very personal. Your answer to this question may surprise you. 32. What kind of music do you like the most? A question similar to that of the marching band, but more focused on the musical genres, and not so much on the artists who have influenced them. 33. What kind of people do you feel the most sorry for? Empathy is the ability to put yourself in someone else's shoes. This answer can give you information on whether or not your friend is empathetic. 34. If you were an animal, what would you be? This question can bring out what your friend looks like, and what strengths or weaknesses he or she stands out in the person of him. 35. Who is the most important person in your life? The answer to this question cannot mean anything special either. But it can provide useful information in some cases, such as if your parents have separated. 36. What do you miss most about your childhood? Childhood is a period of life that must be passed to become adults. With this question it is possible to know if he continues to have a childish mentality. 37. What is the strangest thing you have done on a date? There can be very funny answers to this question, which is a good way to create a relaxed atmosphere. 38. Would you forgive an infidelity? Infidelity can be a very delicate moment in the life of a couple. With this question it is possible to know if he is a person who forgives or not. 39. What has been the best moment of your life? We all go through good and bad times in life. Some of them we will remember forever. 40. With which fictional character do you most identify? Sometimes people can identify with some fictional characters that we consider to be role models. 41. Where would you go to live an adventure? These types of questions seek to find out what the person is like, and whether or not they have an adventurous mentality. 42. Who has influenced you the most in this life? Although throughout our lives we meet many people, we all have someone who has marked us. Someone who has changed us for the better. 43. When did you realize that you were already an adult? Indirectly, this question is a way of knowing if the person we are talking to is mature or if he still has a childish mentality. 44. Where would you go with me to spend a few days? Surely, you and your friend have many things in common. This question is ideal for planning a trip together. 45. With what kind of people would you be ashamed to be seen? Some individuals think too much about the image they project towards others, so they are in charge of always offering a good image. An answer that can reveal whether or not your friend is vain. 46. What 4 adjectives tell you what you are like? On the one hand, this question tries to find out if the person knows himself, and if he values himself or not positively. 47. What would you like to achieve in this life? Another of those questions that provide information about the expectations and concerns of the person for the future. 48. Are you a superstitious person? How does your friend perceive reality? This question helps you find out. 49. Do you like to know what is happening in other countries? To find out how curious your friend is, and if he cares about matters that occur in other parts of the world. 50. What do you like the most about yourself? Again, a way to know how your friend looks and how he is valued. It can say a lot about his self-esteem. 51. If you had to be on a reality show, what would it have to be about? Not everyone is in favor of reality shows. A way to know what your friend thinks about it. 52. What types of people are most attractive to you? When it comes to physical attraction, there are tastes for everything. Do you share the same tastes with your friend? Let him or her tell you. 53. What is infidelity for you? Infidelity is a sensitive topic, but not everyone has the same opinion about it. There are people who have a liberal view of relationships, and others who have a more conventional mindset. 54. In what situations would you be willing to lie? We have all lied at times, it is normal in human beings. Surely, faced with this question, you want to show a positive image of yourself. But he may confess to you what he really thinks. 55. How would you define your type of sense of humor? Obviously, there are people with more sense of humor than others, and there are also many types of humor. Absurd. Surely you already know the sense of humor of your friend, especially if he is one of those people who does not stop making jokes. Although he may be a rather serious person, and you need to ask him about this topic. 56. What talent would you like to have? People have our strengths and weaknesses, and sometimes we desire things that we cannot have. 57. Where would you go to relax for a few days? One way to know how a person calms down. Some may enjoy surfing somewhere secluded, and others may prefer a spa. 58. What are you most proud of in this life? There are moments in a person's life when one feels very happy about what he has accomplished. Ask your friend to share that special moment with you. 59. And what do you regret the most? The same can happen with the most unpleasant moment. It is good that he opens his heart to you and tells you about it. 60. What is your greatest virtue and your greatest flaw? A good question to know the image that your friend has of himself, both in the good and in the bad. 61. What frustrates you most not having achieved? A way to look back and make an assessment of the failures. 62. How do you deal with anxiety? Everyone has their tricks to try to manage anxiety, whether they work or not. 63. With what kind of people do you feel most insecure or shy? A question to know your vulnerable side. 64. How far would you go to achieve fame? A way to know to what extent you value recognition from others. 65. Do you think friendships are forever? A question to find out your point of view on friendships. 66. Have you ever declared yourself? Being romantic and traditional doesn't have to be a bad thing, but this practice is pretty out of date. 67. Would you hire a friend in your company? It depends a lot on the personality and professional confidence that the friend in question inspires us. A difficult question to answer. 68. Who is the friend you would most trust with a job that involved brute force? Moving and other types of work may require a muscular and indefatigable person. 69. Can you trust a friend who never asks you to make plans together? There are friends who respond when you call them, but never take the initiative. What opinion do you deserve? 70. Which friend is most likely to pass unconscious on a night out? We all have a friend or acquaintance who does not know how to control himself. 71. Which of your friends has been detained by the police more times? You may be surprised by how many times a friend has been required for committing an offense. Relationships between people are complex, even with friends. There are times when it is difficult for us to open up or there are conflicts due to lack of understanding. And this is all about find out how your friends are. We hope you have found it interesting. Now you just have to put these tips into practice. It's your turn.